We are on the way to Retropalooza Houston, and I am very excited. I don't know about these guys because I love Retropalooza. And
I think it's a pile of shit. You can suck it.
Gonna be there in like an hour and a half. Con starts tomorrow. Should be a good night, and I'm gonna record some of it. And I can't wait to see 7th level. Woo! Woo!
Hey guys, 7th here. So it's time to recap the events of Retropalooza. Now Retropalooza was back in April, and this was the one in Houston. We'll be going back in October, hopefully, for the one up in Arlington. It took about 3 hours to get there. When we finally arrived, first person that we see is Jordan. So I come walking over to him and offer my hand to introduce myself, and he's like, "Oh, bring it in, bring it in." He gives me a big hug. And I can look across at the other side of the conference area, and there stands Jay up on in the back of a truck, and he's unloading everything off the truck. So me and 8th go walking back there because, you know, we had promised to come and help set everything up, and that's why we were there Friday, even though it started Saturday. We promised that we'd come help out. And we go walking back there, and honestly, I didn't think that Jay or Billy had ever actually watched any of my vids or were overly familiar with who I was, aside from being the guy that occasionally sends them a box of crap. Jay turns around and sees me and is like, "7th level, grab one of those TVs." I was like, "Okay." So I went and grabbed the TV and moved it over, and from then on out, we were just working all Friday long. And we had these big long metal poles that we had to put curtains on that was going to separate, you know, one area from the other, these blue curtains. And so we were almost doing it like an assembly line. And it was me, and it was 8th, and it was Scott Squatch's significant other, and we were all just, you know, and Ant Dude and a couple others, and we were just running these curtains along these poles and then setting them in the little divider things to where it would hold them up, and that would separate the booths. And 8th was really wanting to impress the guys, right? So he's going as fast as his 14-year-old self can go. And at one point, he picks up one of these metal bars, and he turns to look at something and smacks me dead in the face, right here. He hits me so hard that the little metal thing that holds the nose prong on this side cut me on the inside of my nose. So I'm like bleeding a little bit, and I'm like, "Ow, son of a bitch!" Because I mean, I thought he broke my glasses and possibly my nose. So I'm sitting there looking for blood, and I'm taking my glasses off because if I can't see to drive home, we're fucked. And guys from the crew, they come running over to check on me, and you know, I'm sitting here scolding 8th. I'm like, you know, what if this had been, you know, not me? What if this had been one of them? You know, and so but you know, everyone just kind of checked on me, made sure everything was all right, and then it was back to business as usual. Around that time was when Grimsy was setting his booth up. So I went walking over there because I'd already arranged prior on Twitter for him to, you know, bring as many commons as he had, because I was looking to buy as many common NES titles as I get my hands on with the amount of money that I had available to me. So we went ahead and did our wheeling and dealing before then. And after that, that was pretty much it for Friday. And then we went back to the hotel and hung out. The next day is when the con actually started. And that's when things started to get fun.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you a tour of what I did manage to record. This is Grimsy's booth, and like I said, everyone was still getting set up when he and I made our deal, so I'm leaving the audio out at his request. This is basically where we just hammered out what games I wanted, and that's the stack right there in front of him. That's what I wanted out of what he had brought, and he's just looking around to check the pricing and everything, and how he wants to, what kind of deal he wants to give me. And then I came over here and I talked to Pat the NES Punk for a little bit, and Pat was a lot of fun. I actually spent quite a bit of time at the convention just sitting around and talking about him with various stuff. Very knowledgeable dude, and very easygoing, very easy to talk to. This is his book. I did get me a copy of this. It's the Ultimate Nintendo Guide. It has reviews of every cart that was released for the NES, aside from, like, you know, reproduction carts and whatnot. But this is what I spent the most of my time doing right here. Is I would get up and go do a little shopping, then I'd either go back to Captain Retro's booth and sit down, or I'd come back to the Game Chasers booth, and they had a chair waiting for me, and I'd just sit down and hang out with them. So for the most of the 2 days that we were there, that the convention was actually going on, this right here is what I was doing, because that was the main reason that I went. It wasn't so much to shop around or watch the panels or any of that stuff. I mainly went just to hang out with friends, you know. And of course there's Jordan and there's Jay, and got to meet a lot of different people. And of course you see the banner they've got hanging up behind us as a reference to Clerks. And here's some interesting artwork that they had there. Here's a Turbo Duo running Castlevania they had set up, which you don't see those very often. Really wish I had one of those. And here's the actual show floor, and I apologize for the janky camera work here, but I actually hurt my foot while I was there, so I was kind of limping around the whole time I was there, and it resulted in some less than savory camera work. You can kind of see me limping, favoring my left foot, but it is what it is. Now, one thing about these conventions, of course, you know, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff. Oh, and here's 8th sitting at Captain Retro's table. You'll see Kevin, Captain Retro, standing back there in the background in 8-Bit Eric shirt. 8th spent most of his time sitting here helping out with his booth. And he spent a lot of his time there just helping Kevin out and selling stuff and moving stuff around, stacking stuff. And here's a little bobblehead that I bought.
Oh yeah, you still working? All right, appreciate it.
Hard at work over there, 8?
And here's some more stuff. This stuff was really cool to me because some of it I remembered from, you know, it had some fond memories for me, like Fortress Maximus and the doll, Turbo Man doll from Jingle All the Way. And here I am limping some more. 8th also spent quite a bit of time over here because while we were there, he developed an obsession with those Funko Pop figures. And he, with his money that he had, he basically spent it all on Funko figures. He didn't buy any games. Now, what I was going to say earlier, when you go from booth to booth, of course, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff because they, you know, they have to have volume, so a lot of them will bring a lot of commons, and the rares they'll usually keep in glass cases where you can't just pick up and play with them. The trick is they're not always going to sell them for the same price, so you kind of walk from booth to booth to see who has the best deals. Now, here was the area where they had their competitions and whatnot, and when the competitions weren't going on, you could just feel free whenever you wanted, come sit down and play whatever they had set up at the booths. And then when I was talking about moving TVs, these were the TVs we were talking about, moving right through those loading dock doors. And here's Freaks and Geeks. Freaks and Geeks is a store in North Texas. It's above Dallas Fort Worth. It's like right on the almost in Oklahoma. That's how far north it is. And Billy has filmed there. The Game Chasers have done some episodes there. Really cool guy. He had at one point the original, where he had the 25th anniversary re-release of the Matchbox Voltron that I had when I was a kid. He wanted $160 for it, and so I was asking him about that to see if he still had it. In the event that I ever had $160 to spend, I'd maybe try to get him to ship it to me. But here's some other booths that I stopped by and looked at. It's of course it's not. It's a locally run convention. This was the Pasadena Convention Center. It's not the biggest convention center in Houston.
Man, I should get that, but I'm real weird about buying plushes at thrift stores because, like, I just remember how nasty, like, my kids, like, they'd lay in bed with their milk bottle and they'd, like, soak into it and just...
Oh, God, that's the worst, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So that's why it's like, I don't want to buy plushes for that.
I'm glad mine's 14 now and I don't have to fool with that shit no more.
Of course, you'll never know what you're going to find. Here's a rare 360 and my thumb because I suck as a cameraman.
How you holding up, man?
What up?
You holding up all right?
I think so. I haven't hit the rush yet.
Found two more shitty comments for the rack.
Shitty.
Yeah. I vaguely remember having it. I don't remember too much about it.
It's good.
But we're going to give it a go.
All those are good.
Have you seen any bubble bobbles?
Bubble bobbles.
Welcome to Car.
Not so far. I've been looking around, but
You can buy a car, flip.
I've been mostly hanging out over at Captain Retro's table. He drafted my kid to help him with his stuff, so
He's got 3 tables worth of stuff. He's
yeah, that's basically.
And then when I'd need a rest, I'd come right back and sit down in my chair and just hang out with them. And that was the bulk of my convention experience. Now there's Ant Dude. I'd never met Ant Dude before, but he's a cool guy. He's got a great channel. It's really fun. And oddly enough, he was one of the people that I met at the convention that actually knew who I was. Took a few cracks at Black Bond too. Couldn't believe Black Bond still made videos. Now here was Gamester 81's table, and this is a video game series that his company makes. It's called the Sydney Hunter series, and this one I believe is called Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayans, or the Mayan Curse. And it's a game that's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, you know, everything shortly. They're even trying to get it on Switch. Plus, there's other Sydney Hunter games that you can get for Super Nintendo, ColecoVision. Yeah, it's a series that's kind of side-scrolling that mixes elements of Mega Man and some other series, along with the vibe that I get from it. It really reminds me of just a really advanced Montezuma's Revenge, and I'm really excited to play it. And Gamester was gracious enough to let me have a look at it here, and that was cool of him. And I'm really looking forward to trying it out on PS4 and earning some of them trophies. There's Gamester. Of course, there's there's Alpha Omega Sin, and again, I was coming over here whenever I felt like just having a seat and talking to Wood. You see Wood there, talking to 8-Bit Eric, who's right there, and of course talking to Billy, and talking to Alpha, and then, you know, talking to Pat the NES Punk. Jay you didn't see much because Jay spends the whole thing up running around making sure everything is going the way it's supposed to. This convention's kind of his baby. So while, you know, they're selling their wares, he's up making sure that everything is running smooth. Now there's Gerard the Completionist. If any of you guys like the Completionist channel, that one video gamer, that's a great one. And there's 16-Bit Pete. Hi, Pete. And there's Black Nerd Comedy. He's hilarious. A really nice guy. Had a really good conversation with him. And of course there's Jay and Pete. And here comes Beetlejuice. And I didn't get this guy's real name, but everyone seemed to know who he was. And I didn't catch his name, but this was one of 2 costumes that he wore for the cosplay contest. And I'm not sure, but I think he actually won it. Now here's some more footage of me and Alpha. You know, oddly enough, of all the people that I expected to bond with, I ended up getting to know Alpha better than just about anybody at the con, and he's really cool dude. Really cool dude. And here's some more footage of 8th working over at Kevin's booth. And 8th actually ended up getting some free stuff out of that, some gifts from Kevin and his cohort. And here's some of the con footage for the panels. This is some footage from Pat the NES Punk's panel. and I didn't get all of the panels, okay? I didn't get all of them. A lot of them I didn't get because, you know, once the guys figured out that I was kind of there primarily to hang out with them, I got drafted to watch their merchandise whenever they weren't at their table, like if they needed to record B-roll footage. Now, right here is the ghost pepper incident. You've heard me talking about it, where they were trying to get Jordan to do it. And this is the one place where you'll ever hear a line from me anytime soon in a Game Chaser vid. Right here. Here we go. They tried to talk me into doing it.
Would you do one? No way.
No. And I wasn't going for it, as you can see. But they were trying to find anybody they could talk into going along with Jordan in eating this ghost pepper, because he said he wasn't going to do it unless somebody else did it with him. Everybody they were asking kept turning them down, and eventually they found somebody. But I'm not going to show this whole incident, because at some point, you know, at some point the Game Chasers are going to use it in a video, and I don't know if it's going to be an actual episode or a mini chode or whatever, so I don't want to give away the whole thing. But if any of you ever want to see me in a Game Chaser video, my little 2 seconds of fame here is going to be the extent of it. So, you know, be watching for that. But I'll shut up now so y'all can listen in a little bit. But again, I'm not going to show the whole thing.
No, I'm not missing this. Who needs panels?
Hey, fucking, oh, I look like I'm fucking in school.
Another water bottle.
Let me see that.
Here's all gonna bring.
Hey, y'all don't puke here though.
My eyes would be like really red.
Extreme
That's my contacts. My contacts.
No,
Have you done it?
I would puke if I did.
So how?
It's hot for about.
I need a water bottle.
Okay, how's it go from like a few minutes?
Don't swallow.
Did you swallow?
I'm already in garbage.
So just
Take one of those waters that's already opened
for
up.
30 seconds.
One of those waters is already open that people drink out of.
So what? It's still water.
I'm not putting the whole pepper in my mouth. I'm taking a piece of it.
Oh, you got it. Get it.
I will get some. I don't want to touch it with my fingers. It's on my hands. I rub my eyes.
Disease on it.
No, it's not running right now.
You cannot touch it.
Right. I got it.
I'm going to get some supplies so we can be ready.
What did I do to get stuck in this again?
So what do you think?
What the fuck kind of peppers are these?
See, I'm not nervous. It's the fact that
This is the way the fucking peppers look, and the way the.
it's not even that. It's that I'm gonna get it on my hands, like
Yeah.
rub my eyes.
Yeah.
Put on these. Hey, jerk off with it later.
Oh god.
And we're back. Here we are at the panels. Of course, this is Alpha Omega Sin's panel. Again, I didn't get all the panels recorded because I was either helping over at Kevin's booth or I was minding the store for Billy and Eric while they were up around recording B-roll footage. I didn't even get to see Wood's panel. But I did get to see a lot of them, and I recorded all of them that I sat through. So if y'all want to see any of those panels in their entirety, including the Family Feud game show panel where all the guests play a game of Family Feud that's all game trivia type stuff, all you have to do is just post in the comments and let me know you want to see them, and I'll post the entire I'll post the whole video unedited where you get to see the entire panel. So y'all just let me know about that, and I'm going to shut up now and let you have some clips.
Moist.
No, he's
just
false in the face.
it was good.
Oh, who said that?
That's already been put up one time today. That's going to be put up again.
Wait, balls to the face. This is basically just an extension to everything. What were you guys gonna do for a panel?
I don't know.
I mean, that definitely works.
Who's here been to a Game Chasers panel before? So you know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
We get up here, we ask questions from the audience, and well, I don't think that's going to turn out really well, considering 4 of you raised your hands.
So what are we talking about? So they were talking about how they bleed when they shit sometimes. Okay. Like, that's not normal. That's called parvo, first of all.
Okay, I don't want to. You have to. He has to bring special toilet papers on our trip.
I have a sensitive butthole.
Okay, so back to bleeding buttholes though. If you wipe with the wrong type of toilet paper, you'll start bleeding, right?
If you wipe with the wrong type of
Like
too rough.
And you've had to at least a couple of times in your life shit so bad that you do kind of start bleeding.
No.
Come on.
No.
Shut up.
No. That's not normal. Not
from shitting, from wiping with dollar store toilet paper, sure, hotel toilet paper. Yeah, I travel with fucking Charmin Ultra Soft, because what are you gonna do?
That's a... Oh, yeah. I just want to know. I want to know that. I just want to point out they got like a bigger pop than half the things we talked about. I'm like, fucking good toilet paper. Yeah.
Just gay stuff.
Billy, you want to tell us, Billy?
To talk to about the subject.
Okay. All right. So.
Wait, are you talking about the soda incident?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Soda incident. Right. Okay, so I need 2 chairs for this. Hang on. Get up real quick, you two. It's better when you can actually see it. So I have either Jay or Billy's phone, and Jay's right here, and I'm filming him. I'm in tight, right, like here up. And he's got this fucking the doofiest fucking smile on his face, especially for what's about to go down, right? So I'm filming him and he walks past, and he's walking past me, jerking on his shit, okay? Hang on, this is a true story. Look, we went through this thing where it's like, who can do the gayest thing without actually being gay? And then this for a minute, hey,
it's gay chicken.
Don't judge.
Gay chicken.
It's gay chicken, right? Okay, so he's walking like this, and he's tugging on his fucking dick, and I'm just following him. This is a one shot, right? I'm following him with the camera like this, and we go over to what he's walking to, and it's Billy against the wall like this. So Jay, still jerking on his shit, comes up, lays down, gets underneath Billy, okay? Billy is on this thing spread fucking eagle. So this is where my part comes in. You ever seen those fucking rap videos where they're pouring fucking champagne down strippers' asses and shit? So I grab a can of Dr. Pepper. And I pour it down Billy's ass crack. And Jay is laying underneath him with his mouth wide open. So, anyways, it's a Dr. Pepper ass crack waterfall going right into Jay's mouth, and he drank, well, Billy's ass essentially is what he drank.
When I first saw that, legit, I thought you took a shit on him. Like, when you showed me the video, because it came out and it was brown, and it just. I was like, what?
Dude, that's what I thought.
Like, that was almost like I was like, literally like, dude, I'm fucking out.
Hold up, dude, that was shown to me, okay, I was in the hallway of the hotel and everybody was like, Alpha, come here. And they run up with me with the phone, they're like, you gotta see it. And I'm like, okay. For whatever reason, we all go to the bathroom. So we all go up to the bathroom, and then they have their phone on, they're just like, and they're watching this, and I have no idea what had happened. They're just like, they're all getting like, hee. And I'm looking, and I see it. I literally thought you were just dropping a fucking deuce on him, and then he was eating, and I was just like, and I still remember, dude, do you remember, your face was like, dude, oh my, like, when I looked at it, I was just like, too far.
Yeah, I was like, dude, no way.
Okay, we want the record to show that Eric wound up winning. We're not going to go into what because... No, we're not going to tell that story. No.
All right.
Hold on. That should be the new Dr. Pepper ad, by the way.
Huh? You don't have the fucking...
You don't have the nuts. I'm single, I can do it now. All right, so we're headed home from Retropalooza. Had a great time, but it's unfortunately going from Houston to Austin, you're driving west. Well, guess which direction the sun sets in? That's right. And I'm having to make all these weird-ass changes, like taking these exits that for some reason take me off 290 West for less than a mile, only to put me right back on it. So I'm driving parallel to 290 for no goddamn reason, and having to take these exits that aren't in the instructions to stay on 290 West. So not only do I not know where I'm going, I can't see where I'm going either. I'm as fuck can get.
So anyway, here's the pickups that I ended up with game-wise from Retropalooza Houston. Now again, only one of the games that I picked up was what you would consider rare. And that was a special deal between me and Grimsy, so I can't really go into the details of the price, but he gave me a really good deal on it. But anyway, here we go. Caveman Games, Dirty Harry, Classic Concentration, real thrilling stuff here, right? Battle Tank, Bases Loaded, Heavy Shredding, Infiltrator, The Immortal, Isolated Warrior, Conflict, Dudes with Attitude, Deja Vu, Tiger Heli, Cobra Triangle, Cyberball, Desert Commander, Cabal, Conquest of the Crystal Palace, Image Fight, Circus Caper, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Castellian, Battle Chess, Burger Time, I already had this on ColecoVision and in television, Jackal, Gumshoe, Championship Bowling, Akari Warriors, Breakthrough, Clue Land, Casino Kid, Iron Tank, City Connection, The Blue Marlin, Bible Adventures, Ren and Stimpy's Buckaroos, Solar Jetman, Low G-Man, Caesar's Palace, Break Time, Hook, Castle Quest, Guerrilla War, and lastly, the one rare game that I picked up while I was there, Gargoyles Quest 2. And it's in really minty condition. It's very nice. As you know, I don't care about the boxes. You can't play cardboard. We also ended up with a couple of gifts from Captain Retro and his cohort that was there with him over the weekend. We ended up with Evil Dead Regeneration for the Xbox and The Punisher for the Xbox. So that's it as far as video game pickups for Retropalooza Houston 2017. The rest of the stuff we got was some action figures and some t-shirts. Got a lot of free t-shirts. They were very nice to us. Very, very nice to us. It was very gracious of them. And we had a blast. Eighth made a lot of new friends. I made a lot of new friends. And it was just a really fun time, and we can't wait to go back to Retropalooza in October. So there you go, friends. There's what it's like to go game sniffing at Retropalooza. Until next time, it's the 7th.